Good morning and welcome to another session of Azure Private Azure Power Lunch. Sorry, and our topic today is Azure Cost
Cost
Management.
management.
So, folks, just one request: if you are not speaking, if you can please mute your phone. Second thing is we have some issues with our IAM window. So, I mean, I am trying to resolve it with the team. And so if you wanna have a question, please speak up. So as I said, our topic today is Azure Cost Management. As usual, if you don't know me, quick blurb about myself. By the way, I will upload the slides and the video. No, I haven't uploaded the last weeks, but I will do it both together this week. So as usual, we're going to be starting with some of the Azure updates. So there are, I mean, as you know, that Azure is updated multiple times at tens of times a week. And one place to get all the updates is the Azure update site. Please bookmark it, and get go there for you know, uh, for the latest updates. And at the same time, if you are, if you are interested in finding out our on-demand sessions, you can go in and, you can go in and basically find that information out at our YouTube channel. So quickly, the first one I want to talk about new cloud regions that are available in Switzerland. So that's our policy whenever we are trying to bring Azure in all sovereign nations. Goal is to put at least two regions there so we can do geo replication. So that's the plan. There are two new regions which have uh, popped up in Switzerland, and that if you are um, if your customers, if you are using those regions, and if you're using such things like geo replication, your data will stay in Switzerland. So that's kind of some of the countries, they have strict privacy rules. So that's kind of help you meet that criteria. Okay. Second one, I think this is about price reduction. So for the app service plan for the Linux hosting, there is a significant decrease where you can use premium V2 in almost the same price where you're using standard. So if you are using standard, I think it would be a good idea to upgrade to premium at the same level. So if you're using S1, go to P1 V2, S2, go to P2 V, same thing, S3, go to P3 V3. And as you can see, you're almost doubling the total Azure compute units. There is more memory. There are more modern machines. So I think that's a very good, and the cost increase is, maybe like it's only a 5 or 10%. Um, Actually, I think it's maybe around like maybe 5%. So I think it's a good time if you are using app service on Linux to take advantage of this, because you will get faster processor, SSDs, and all the new stuffs, and it will help us retire that old hardware, from those data center as well. So with that, um, any questions? And as I said, since we cannot, I cannot, we have some issues with the IM window. So if you have any questions, I email it to me later on, or unmute and ask the question. Okay, so let's go ahead. Never mind. So let's talk about our topic of discussion. So this is about Azure cost management. So one promise of the cloud is it makes your expenses, whatever your IT spend is, more transparent. You are able to control it, because what you're spending, you can see it. It's not that, okay, I have that expenses that already a sunk cost and I don't know how much I'm spending. Here you can actually see it, control it, optimize. And this is the tool. Azure Cost Management is the tool which help you do that. So as I said, provide you number one, provide you visibility, so your costs are visible. You can see what you are spending on. You can slice and dice the data, find out the most expensive items and things like that. Second thing, ability to accountability. So you can set alerts. So instead of being surprised at the end with a large bill, you can set alerts. So if you see some consumption going haywire, you know you can control in advance. And optimization, so it gives you suggestions about like um, what resources are under optimized or what resources are not used, so you can get rid of them and save cost. Because just keep in mind, in the cloud, it makes it easy to create resources, and sometime when too many teams are working, they lose track of some of the things that they may have used in the past and they're no longer using, and they can get rid of it without impacting their productivity or their operations and things like that. So that's where this thing comes into picture. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with um, the quick demo, just a few slides just to set the context. So if you may know, uh, we used to have an Azure EA portal. I'm not sure if we still have it. That was our way of for the enterprise users to look at the cost. Then we have the Azure portal where we have some information on the resources to bridge the gap, to provide our customer view of their cost and all that cost management capabilities. We acquired a company called Cloudon. Okay, and what we have been doing 2 years ago, we acquired the company, and since then we are merging all of their IP into Azure Cost Management. So yeah, it is available, still available, um, but at the same time, we are merging all those features, enhancing them, making it a part of Azure Cost Management, providing it for free for Azure customer. And of course, if you are, uh, you know, using AWS, you or your customers are using AWS, they can use it as well, but there is a charge for it. So with that, let's start with a demo, and feel free if you have any questions. So let's start. I'm just going to start from Azure portal. Cost management is available on the left hand side. If it is not available, you can go into services and just type in cost, and that's the first thing that come up. So this is your cost management. It shows you all the subscription that you may have. They show up here. Keep in mind, you have to have a reader, or I think there's another role. There's later in the presentation. You have to be a part of that group to access that information. So once you're there, this is an overview. What is You can quickly see what is your current cost. And by the way, there are multiple ways to get into this view. We will talk about in a second. One way is to get from here. I can go into cost management and I can pick one of these. I can create budget, view recommendation, or open cost analysis. So let's start with cost analysis first. So I'm going to open cost analysis, and it's going to show me where I'm spending all my money. This is my forecasted chart, all of that. Okay. And look at this. This is kind of very nice pie chart. It shows me, first of all, what is where I'm spending my money by service name. As you can see, Azure service, VPN gateway, SQL database, storage, these are the services. And what are the location where I'm spending money and the resource group name. And by the way, I can change it. If I want, I can go in and I can change it to let's say um, resource type, and it will show me what resource type I'm spending money on. Or if I want to change it to, let's say, a typical resource, then it will actually sort it by resource names and how I'm spending money. Or if I kind of go once again, I'm going to just switch back and change it to uh, resource. By the way, this is not uh, all of it. For example, here location. So I can change the shape of and how I'm filtering those charts. So let's look at this. This is my subscription cost. So I'm gonna change to a different subscription. Let me go to a different one. Okay, okay, okay. All app services. Hold on. Let me just go in here. It's fine. Let me go back and go to a different service. I wanna go to the this one because it has more interesting expenses. Sorry. So this is once again it shows what is different cost by resource. All of those things. So this is kind of an overview. Then I go into cost analysis. So now I want to analyze the cost. As by default, it's going to show me the current month. Let's say I want to see last month. What was my cost for last month? Okay, this is how it looked. Let's see, I want to pick this month, but I want to see what were my daily cost. Okay, so these are my daily costs. As you can see, there was a big um, high spend. If I want to see it last quarter, last 6 months. Let's say I want to see what was the daily cost in last six. As you can see, look at that. My cost is, as it is going up and going down each month. So this is what it is doing is it is daily cost accumulated. What I can do accumulated cost. So this is how it is showing up. And- Sorry, I'm gonna do last 6 months. So this is how it is the accumulated cost doing. Um, and then I can do uh, in terms of daily costs. So that's once again, it is kind of a summing it up and showing it in particular um, order. So let's see something how we can filter it. So what you can do is you can filter it based on location. You can filter it based on meter subcategory, and just keep in mind these often will change depending on the type of subscription you use. If you are using an EA subscription, this option may be different. But if you are using for example, pay-as-you-go subscription, your meter types may not be the same meter types that are available there. So just keep that. Also, you can type on uh, tags as well. So you can filter based on tags. You can filter based on resource type. So let's do let's do a resource type, and let's choose um, for example API manage dot service. So let's see how much we are doing it with that. So this is my accumulated cost for uh, so I'm gonna do this month. So this is once again all of the cost that is here. This is a kind of everyday breakdown and daily cost. Yes. And once again, all of these will be filtered based on what you have selected in this particular drop down. So that will change what you have. Uh, and by the way, what you can do is you can save these views. So let's say if this is a view that you like, you can save it and you can say that API expense, and you can save this view, and you can later on um, kind kind of use this view, share this view, things like that. So you can basically use that, share it with your team. So basically, this is a view that you can share, and you can share it with your team and things like that. So that's all reusable kind of thing that you have. Okay. Second thing, so this is all about visibility. So that's how you look at the cost. The second thing is budgets. So with budgets, what you can do is you can find out how much you are spending and put some alerts on it. So let's start by creating a new budget. Just keep in mind that enforcement through budget is for alerts only. If you have exceeded your budget, it will not impact your subscription in any way, shape, or form. It will only alert the individuals who are the owner of the subscription, or who you want to alert or take some actions. You can um, take actions where you more restrictive action, like for example, shutting down some resources, but that's you have to do it on purpose. By default, it will just raise an alert. So for example, um, I can either change the scope or add a filter. So I can either put alerts directly on subscription, or let's say I want to do a resource group. So I am doing a POC right now, and so let's say I want to pick that up. So I want to go uh, to this filter. So once I do that, I have added a filter, and it's gonna. So this filter is added, and gonna do is not enough. Okay, enter unique name. Okay, let's select something else. Not resource group name. Resource location. Let's do. I know that I have stuff in South Central. Okay, so that shows me that this is. So if I wanna put a budget on South Central that I don't want to spend more than 1,000 in South Central, I can put it here. So let's say this is the suggested budget. I'm gonna put a number as $120. Uh, SC budget, and by the way, it has to be. Uh, and this the reset period is monthly. Next. Okay, so this is very important. I mean, I can put alerts. I want alerts at 50%. I want alerts. Uh, okay, the action group. Action group is a set of action that you can take if something happens. For example, let's say that you wanna send somebody an email, send somebody a text, open a ticket in your ITSM, or you wanna open, for example, run a logic app. All of that you can go through action group. Okay, so basically that's what I'm just using that, or and as well you can use an email address as well, just like here. I'm gonna use an email address. So with that, every that, and I can create the alert. So once the alert is created, I will receive email. A better way would be to maybe, uh, you know, uh, kind of inform the owner of the subscription as well that there is alerts happening, so you can go do it action group and all that. So that's how you will I mean, that's how you can set up multiple alerts. And by the way, as you can see, that you can set alerts not only on location, I mean not only on a subscription, but location and resource group and all. Okay, so that's so I just want to go back to the deck 1 second, and I want to show you like uh, what alerts you can set up on. And by the way, in terms of hierarchy, you can go up. If you are familiar with management group, you can go up the hierarchy in the management groups and set up alerts. And one other thing that is very powerful, you can set tags, which I think all the customers who are doing, they should set it up. And you can set alerts based, I mean, get cost based on tags and set budget based on tags as well. So basically, tag may be a cost center or organization name, and that's how you can get alerts. I mean, get set budget based on those tags and get alerts from there. Okay. Um, yes. So that is notified. I am not sure. So action groups, as I said, where they will come into picture. You can send email. You can uh, text, open tickets to ITSM, or call a logic app. So that's the side of action group. Okay, now we come to the recommendation, or how you can do optimization through the cost management. So let's go to the advisor recommendation. So what it is it has looked through all my subscription and found something. So as I said, I have some IP addresses. So this is something that I have found, that it has found. Since it's using my subscription mostly for POC, so there's not much stuff. I'm turning off resources I don't use, but still it has found some stuff. For example, it has found some IP addresses that are no longer used, and I can save yearly around 200, more than 220 bucks if I remove those, deletes those IP addresses. So this is something that is kind of, it provides. And of course, if you have more stuff in your subscription, definitely it will provide more recommendation. It can provide recommendation on, hey, you are using this VM for a very long time. Why don't you use Azure reservations, which is the name for reserved instances. So why don't you use reservations? Or you can shut down, or you can downsize this database or this VM because it's only used 10%. So all of these become a part of this this Azure cost management optimization. Okay. Any questions? And by the way, I can go in here and I can basically look at that IP and I can delete that IP. One other thing is, let's say that you know that you were using this IP later on, so you can postpone or dismiss those recommendations as well. Okay. And by the way, this is only one side of cost management. This is what comes with a part of Azure portal. And it may or may not be able to meet every customer's requirement. Although it provides a lot of information, but some customer still want more. They want analysis done in through their own way, or they may be using tools like Power BI, where they want to use Azure Cost Management. So there is a Power BI connector available that you can use to query and data from Azure Cost Management. So it accesses the same data that we are showing here. You can use that Power BI connector to get that data. You can mix and match with the data that your organization may, and build smart views from there. Okay, so that's where you can do more customization. That's so let's say that you have need for like mixing and matching uh, different views that you're using in Power BI. That's where you can bring that up. So that's another way of doing it. Let's say that even Power BI doesn't meet your requirement. You already have a tool that you want to use, and you don't want to use Power BI, and you need further customization. Then you have the ability to kind of export this data. You can export through API. So you can have API that you know, you can query this data periodically, pull it into your own data store, and that's where you can run your own tools like Tableau, or let's say that you have your own cost management portal where you're taking this data and you're merging it with data that you may already have and doing a lot of stuff. So that's where you can do all of those things. So it provides a lot of flexibility. So I think I will highly recommend that you start, or your customers start with cost management, and see if it fits their need, then probably look at Power BI if they're a connector for cost management, if that works for them, or then go with the cost management APIs, because that will require us, depending on some or a lot of work, to where they want to go. So with that, um, let's go back to the slide deck. Let's see if there are any other things that we have left. Yeah. So let's quickly. Yeah. So basically, that's kind of ends our today's discussion. If you have any questions, please unmute your mic and feel free to ask.
Do you have any insight when this will be available for CSP subscriptions?
Good question. I think later. Okay, there was a roadmap here. Oh, I took it out. Sorry, it was proprietary. Never mind. So I think towards the end of this year. That's the plan.
Thank you.
Yeah, towards the end of this year. One other thing I want to mention, that it is free for Azure. I mean, from the portal, access is free. Of course, if you're using Power BI connector, you have to have Power BI license, and license discussion is beyond the scope of this session. So, and of course, APIs, of course, I mean, if you API, then you have to way to store that data somewhere, things like that. For AWS, there is a cost associated with it, and as far as I know, it's 1% of your annual spend. Okay. So, if any other question, 1 more minute. Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed the session, and have a great weekend. Have a great Labor Day weekend, and hope to see everyone next week for another session of Azure Power Lunch. Bye.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.